We have seen choppy trading in drug stocks after U.S. President Donald Trump demanded lower drug prices in the United States. He says he wants Americans to pay no more than people in countries that have the lowest prices. Our guest says this could all be more rhetoric than actual achievable policy. We're joined by Evan Seigerman, Managing Director, Head of Healthcare Research and Lead Biopharma and Biotech Analyst at BMO Capital Markets. Evan, great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You note that in his first term, President Trump made noises like this. His measure was held up in the courts, and then President Biden canceled it.
So exactly, he tried to implement a most favored nations policy via a demonstration project in Medicare, trying to equalize what the government pays for drugs in certain Medicare programs, equalizing them with what is paid elsewhere internationally. It was canceled by the courts. Of course, Biden's administration did get the IRA passed, which allowed for negotiation of certain drugs in Medicare. So it's probably a closer bit of drug price capping. But at this point, we really don't see anything in Trump's new EO that would be substantive policy that could be implemented.
And one of his problems here is that in some areas, the U.S. government has limited control over prices.
For sure. So in the commercial market, which is a large portion of our drug spend, these are contracts between two private entities for which the government has little control over. So if you have an employer and a PBM and a manufacturer, the government's not party to that contract. In Medicare, all of that is governed by law. What he could have done is under the IRA, he could have taken the provision to negotiate for the 10 drugs or 15 drugs that were selected and used the most favored nations policy as a basis for that negotiation, or done a demonstration project, none of which were listed in the EO on Monday.
Give us your take. I mean, the American healthcare system is expensive across the board.
For sure.
Why are drugs more costly than in many nations?
So I hate to say it's a complicated answer, but it is. A few things that we have going kind of against us. One, it's the fragmented system. When you have a lot of disparate payers, you don't have that negotiation power as you would have with one government, which is, I guess, he's trying to solve. The other thing is we have these intermediaries, and one of the things he did call out were the PBMs, and the pharmacy benefits managers, which are the entities that decide which drugs get covered and how much they're reimbursed for. So we have a lot of, difference in price between the list price and what's actually received by the manufacturers. And we don't know what that is in many cases. And that's the big issue that's driving up a lot of the drug costs. So if we get rid of the middlemen, make them more transparent, or go back to what they were supposed to be, was just kind of an insurance processing entity, you could actually see prices come down, which could achieve President Trump's goals.
The pharma stocks, maybe you can put up a 1 week chart.
Sure.
for Lilly or Merck. The pharma stocks did initially fall, then they recovered. It looks as though investors aren't overly alarmed by this move by President Trump.
Exactly. So he was kind of teasing at it on Sunday, which probably spooked markets in Europe and in Japan. And then come around to Monday morning when we had the EO, we realized that it was, more high level without any real policy in there that could be implemented. So that was where the recovery came from.
Although we are seeing a bit of a sell-off in them today. Is there any particular news today, Evan, that would push them down?
Hard to say exactly. It could be a bit of a momentum reversal. The market is a bit volatile.
Yeah, for sure. You have some ideas for us.
Sure.
Start off with Lilly, if you would. You reckon Lilly is winning the obesity race?
It is. And I know we've talked a lot about Lilly on this program. Even with the CVS deal that Novo inked, I still see Lilly as pulling ahead. They have orforglipron, that's a small molecule for obesity. And I believe that they are better at kind of meeting the moment when it comes to the political side of things. Their CEO, Dave Ricks, really understands how to, quote unquote, read the room when it comes to policy. Novo has great drugs, but I feel like they're losing steam with just semaglutide as their key asset.
And Lilly, pretty rich dividends, 6%.
For sure. And I think Lilly has the free cash flows to support that. They can reinvest in the business, and they're not dependent on M&A to grow the business, right? They can do that all organically with their obesity and metabolic franchise.
You like the look of Bristol Myers and Merck, I think, even though both. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
A little cautious. I brought them up as names that could be impacted if there were an MFN, implementation, as they have a lot of drugs that are sold through Medicare, and I think both of those companies need to figure out how they're going to grow through their LOE. So I'm actually more cautious on those.
Sorry.
I would highlight, no worries. I would highlight AbbVie as a name that I think is interesting and has some good staying power in the pharma space as well on the upside.
One interesting thing, as I'm sure you know, a lot of pharmaceuticals are made for U.S. companies in Ireland, and they're worried about the economic impact of tariffs, for one thing, because Ireland is a tremendous tax shelter.
Yes. So I don't know if we get widespread tariffs. It seems like it's a lot of rhetoric and talk similar to the MFN, highlighting what we just had with the U.S.-China deal. I think what he wants is to bring more manufacturing back to the United States, which takes a lot of time. And we looked at companies across our coverage in the sector, and they're all announcing significant investment in U.S. manufacturing. So we could see more of that, but I don't see Ireland going away because they do have the talent aside from the favorable tax advantage.
Evan, thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it.
Of course, my pleasure.
Evan Seigerman, the Managing Director and Head of Healthcare Research and Lead Biopharma and Biotech Analyst at BMO Capital Markets.